Hi guys, let's wait a couple minutes and we'll start. Hi, Vladimir. You are the first today. Not Phoenix. Phoenix has always been the first. Where is he today? Yeah. Oh, you can't hear me, I think, right? What's wrong? This is strange. Okay, guys, let's get started. 13 people are here, so it's fine. Okay, thank you, Crypto Sam. Okay, more people will come, but okay, so let me start with the usual. So what's happening right now? Finally, guys, everything starts to fall into place. This week we started a QL campaign. You can see a lot of new people coming to uh, our Telegram channels, to Discord, to Twitter. So the campaign has started finally. It's not like in the full swing yet, so it's gonna be more visible, and we're gonna actually step it up. But you can see the campaign running now. And yeah, so at the same time, we almost finished the development of units. Everything is working and bridging is done. You can test the bridges. There is like some bridges that were implemented, bridge interfaces that were implemented by the community, by Christopher, for example, from BAI, and you can check them out. Everything is working. The only missing piece of the puzzle is DAO, and DAO will be, I think, will be done next week because it's pretty easy to implement it because we have Power Protocol and we just need to use the same thing, the same smart contracts for units with a new interface. So it's not going to take a lot of time. And guys, we're done. And I think in about 3 weeks, we're launching. Currently, we are talking to launch pads, to centralized exchanges. We're finalizing the launch plan. So it's coming. And guys, don't forget, if you have L2MP tokens, you should stake them, because otherwise you won't receive Unit Zero token. So if you don't have L2MP tokens, you may buy some, or I don't know, like receive some like airdrop. For example, I'm going to Korea soon, and we're gonna have an event in Korea. It's not gonna be big, and the goal is to make sure that our core Korean community understands what we do, and we're not gonna make like huge events, with VIPs, girls, and champagne. So it's gonna be a small party, maybe like 70 people, and everybody who comes receives some L2MPs. I think we will distribute 10K worth of L2MP. So if you're in Seoul, and I think some people might be in Seoul next week, not only Koreans, because there's going to be Korean blockchain week in Seoul next week. So please come to the event. It's going to be a nice and cozy rooftop party in Seoul, in again district, obviously, because as far as I know, everything happens in Seoul in Gangnam, from the the Seoul Gangnam style. Yeah, very nice area. So come to the rooftop party, and you're gonna get some LTMPs at the same time, which you will have to stake so that you can get some Unit Zeros once it's launched. So guys, this is what I wanted to tell you basically. Everything's on track. Launch is not far, not far. And now to your questions. Vladimir is asking, tell me more about Unit DAO. Will it work on the Waves chain? Unit Zero to be the governance token can be slashed. Yes, Unit DAO will work on Waves, because Waves is like layer 0 for units. And Waves validators also serve as validators of all those units chains. So it makes sense to do that DAO on Waves as well, because Waves is not going away. So Units is not some kind of like new project built from scratch. No, it's built on top of Waves. It basically stands on the Waves shoulders, meaning that Waves is gonna get a huge boost from Unit's launch. And it also means that it makes sense to create this like governance structure on the base layer. And it's also very, it comes in very handy that we have built the DAO already in Power Protocol. So we don't need to like recode it from scratch for EVM. We just reuse the code that has already been done. So Unit's DAO is going to be on Waves chain, and Unit Zero is going to be the governance token of the whole ecosystem. So all the new launches are going to be approved by the DAO, and to participate in this process, you will have to stake your Unit Zero token. And why should you do that? Because you're going to be receiving all the tokens from all those chains. So basically, if you have Unit Zero token staked in the DAO, you vote for new launches, and those projects basically incentivize you to vote. And they allocate some portion of their token supply to the DAO and to the validators. So it creates some kind of like chain of incentives. If you have Unit Zero token, you may receive like further tokens. So this is the goal here. Cannot be slashed. Not at the beginning. We will introduce some slashing mechanics a bit later in a gentle way. Because during the bootstrapping, I think it's important to make sure that we are launching several chains in the ecosystem as soon as possible. There is going to be some slashing. Actually, no, sorry, I think I didn't put it clearly enough, there's going to be some slashing, but it's going to be some kind of gentle slashing, basically to initiate your own chain. New projects who want to launch their chains will have to stake some million zeros, and they will have to offer KPIs in terms of like profitability for the DAO participants and for the miners. So, and if this KPI is not met, Union Zero tokens that they slashed to make this proposal, that they staked to make this proposal, will be slashed. And I think we will implement it right after the DAO has been launched, because it's not like very severe slashing, but it's some slashing. Yeah, it should provide accountability and also guarantee that we won't have spammy projects or like outright scam. Yeah, so there's going to be slashing, but it's going to be done in a subtle, gentle way. Hello, Sasha. Hi, industry airdrop. Why not so many people here? Good question, man. Good question. But there's going to be more soon. When September, 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 September. Please be a little transparent. Why did we think? Let that sink in. You know, Elon Musk shit. Let that sink in. If you like, a Turkish community actually is a very passionate and, how to say, vibrant community, and they always post this like chart of waves on Twitter, saying, "Guys, remember it was $62, and now it's $1." And they keep posting this shit all the time. So, and they think they are making some kind of point here. But man, it's very hard to explain everything only if you look at the price charts, So if you wanna ask me why Wave's price is so low, I think you should have followed what's happening in Wave ecosystem. Basically, we had this issue with stablecoin DPAC, and this had impacted the ecosystem in a very negative way, unfortunately. So we have been struggling for like almost 2 years with this, but with the launch of units, I think we'll turn the tables. So stay tuned, man. And so I think after I've launched units, and I think we will launch it successfully, and all the problems have been resolved, I'm gonna do definitely something, different, so because it's becoming too much for me, because everything people are doing now is meme coin trading, and everything becomes a meme coin, so this is not something that I was aspiring to when I started doing crypto 10 years ago, so I think we should provide some kind of alternative. But on the other hand, so if we need to resolve the problems that we're facing, I think anything goes. So we will launch as many projects as needed, so that the problems are resolved, like everybody who lost money is made whole, and after that we will move forward. But at the same time, we are launching something useful, new infrastructure projects. I think there's going to be a lot of projects now in Waves, maybe even like meme coin platforms such as pump.fun. So because it's really fun in some way. You know, on one hand, you don't see any value in that, but on the other hand, it's fun. You know, so let's see how it goes. You'll see a lot of projects right now always. Yeah, and you can see, for example, last week, WX token was listed on a centralized exchange on MEXC, and I think it was good. So we resolve those old problems. We try to do something valuable, and we're gonna move forward into the bright, decentralized future, governed by Power Protocol. Can we expect Unit Zero tokenomics to be published anytime soon? Good question, actually. Yeah, so we probably haven't made a very clear announcement about this. Yeah, it will be made soon. It's not gonna be so revolutionary, you know. So I think you're gonna like it, guys. And I think we will start this process of like bootstrapping next week, when we explicitly ask you to stake your LTMP token if you want to get Unit Zero, and we will publish the tokenomics. And this is going to be like this, the beginning of the launch. So starting from the next week. Next week, absolutely. Still can't see the votes on Virus. I think that platform is like, we didn't pay, Virus guys didn't pay for this like forum software. I think it's actually gone. So if you really want to dig up those answers, those replies, I think you should try to do that on Google. And I think people who wanted to make some copy some backup did that. So I don't think it's a problem. We are very enthusiastic about your project. Sure, man. If you want to help us with promotion, reach out to Teams members. What do you think about GNSBT? Have a plan? Yes, of course. I think it was announced because now it's connected to Windex. It's like index of waves tokens. And basically, GNSBT can be staked in the DAO, and the DAO treasury receives the fees from Windex. So I think it wasn't distributed yet, but I think it's quite substantial. And it will be distributed now. So you will see that there is some APY, and you will see that there is some value in GNSBT. As for further launches, let's see how it goes. I think the index product will be launched on units. How it impacts Neutrino protocol, let's see how it goes. Maybe the easiest would be just to maybe drop some tokens to GNSBT holders. Korean community is here. Hi guys. See you soon, basically in 3 days. When girls and champagne? Never, man. Yeah. Only, you know, like serious meetups, technical, like decentralization, scalability, and all that stuff. No girls and no champagne. Rebrand, no rebrand, man. Never. There is no utility. That's why. This is the best time to buy more. Sasha, thank for your consistent work. I can say the same about Vladimir. He's very consistent with puzzle project, launching new stuff all the time, puzzle to the moon and beyond. Sasha, are you going to Korea? Yeah, I'm gonna be in Korea on Monday. So see you guys there. And once again, there's gonna be event, rooftop party. and you can still check in. We have more people now than we can accommodate, but usually not everyone comes. So you still have time to basically fill out the form. And there's going to be some airdrop of L2MPs. So everybody who comes to the party will receive some L2MP. Is there any plan regarding feature 23? I think actually I mentioned it a couple of times. I haven't made any like official announcement, but we are like all friends here, right? So let me tell you guys what my plan is. I think it's gonna be good if it is voted for a bit later, when the situation is better. Because in this case, we're gonna do this from position of power, from position of strength, not from like position of weakness, you know. So like if waste price is higher, if everything's fine, and we do this like half a year increased inflation period, I think it's gonna be amazing, guys. And Waves DAO can receive a lot of waves for its treasury. XTN can be bought back like in full, and also, and we're gonna be good. So I think let's wait a bit because probably we're gonna do without because development for units is over. We're raising some money now from VCs, so things are not so bad as they were before. And it like changes our perspective a little. So we won't like disable that 23 20 feature 23 proposal, but I would suggest we implement it later when we are like not weak, but when we are strong, and this will boost our strengths, not like, you know, compensate, make up for our weakness, but it will boost our powers, you know. So let's do that later. And by the way, I need to do something for promotion. Yeah, so guys, and actually I forgot to mention that we're gonna be starting promotion of like Ambassador DAO and Power Protocol very actively. Because like I follow the current market trends, obviously, because we are working with marketing agencies and they work with QLs. It's like it's complicated. So I think we're gonna create a better QL community, you know, based on Waves Ambassador DAO, people who are committed to promoting good stuff, you know, who will be promoting Waves projects, Units projects for years to come. They're not gonna be, you know, going from one project to another, from one chain to another. We need to create core community for our ambassadors and promoters. And not promoters, you know, like promoting is going to be something very natural for them because they're like deeply integrated into the ecosystem. They understand what's going on, and for them, this is going to be something very natural, and they're going to be rewarded for this. And we're starting like active onboarding new members of Waves Ambassador Program next week. So we're not gonna wait for event launch as I planned initially. I think we should do that in parallel. And the goal is to create core community of Waves ambassadors and Waves QLs. And now it works through Zeely. Zeely is a great tool. Maybe not so popular as it was before, but it doesn't matter because it's some kind of, you know, like hype and usual crypto crap. You know, when something is very popular one day and everybody forgets about it next day. But Zeely is a great tool, and the Ambassador DAO works through Zeely. And every AMA, I'm gonna announce a word for Zeely participants. You should basically use that word to to complete a task on Zili and get some points, Zili points, that will be converted into power tokens at the end of the month. So yes, as I said, unit is gonna boost Waves ecosystem in general. So today's word is boost chain, boost chain, boost chain. Zili participants use that word to complete the task on Zili right now. Okay, to your questions. Korean guys, see you there. Korean Hangul is intriguing. So, and it's an alphabet, so probably sooner or later I'll find some time, a couple hours, to actually learn it, because it's not basically kanji or whatever you have in Japanese. It's like it's alphabet, so it's learnable in one evening. When is next week for Pete Reborn? Yeah, guys, sorry, I promised you Pete Rebirth this week, almost complete. There is new mechanics, new design for the website, and there's some website layout work that is being done right now. I'm just waiting for the updated website. Maybe over the weekend or next week, Pete will be reborn. Take Woman with you to Korea. Always like absolutely free man. He can go to Korea anytime he wishes. So Lola, come to Korea. Hello again from your homeless city, Zaporizhia. Hi guys. Hi. Привет, ребята. What will happen after claiming in zero? When in zero will be launched on the XX network? End of September, it's gonna be launched everywhere on centralized exchanges, on launchpads, and obviously on WX. And what's gonna be happening after claiming? Basically, you're gonna be claiming it from the smart contract, like daily or like weekly, whenever you have time, and you'll be able to stake it in the DAO. This is I think the most reasonable, and vote for all the launches in the ecosystem. And those launches will basically donate some tokens to the participants. So basically, when you have Union Zero token, you will be getting multiple tokens from new projects, basically. So yeah, this is some kind of how to like, what is a good comparison here? This is some kind of like chain of rewards that is going to be coming your way. You know, if you have Union Zero and if you actively participate in the community governance. What plans are there in relation to the upcoming Russia National Exchange? No plans, absolutely, whatsoever. I have no connection to Russia, and like, yeah, and this is good. And obviously, I'm not gonna launch any centralized exchanges because, you know, like I'm trying to do something else. And this is a very interesting question, actually, and we can discuss it for hours, you know. So currently, basically, I don't think we will see a lot of successful dexes, because all people need is this like facility where they can trade tokens. Tokens are issued like in a decentralized way, and this is the only thing that blockchain is actually good for, to launch tokens in a decentralized way. But trading itself, I think, unfortunately, it will be happening on centralized platforms because nobody cares about decentralization. Yeah, it's important to launch a token in a decentralized way, because if it was like centralized, I think organizations such as like SEC, would really, shut it down. But when it's decentralized, it's really hard, to scrap the token, to like erase the token from existence. But all the rest that you can do to this and with this token can happen in a fully centralized way, unfortunately. And this is something that unfortunately we experience right now. So this is something that I personally didn't expect. And I think it's time to get back to the idea of decentralization, and build something properly decentralized and not so focused on speculation, which will be new governance protocols and new DAOs that potentially can have like hundreds of thousands of members. I see a bright future. Make it happen. Absolutely. What is secret code for Zilli task? Boost chain. In one word. Boost chain. Lambos for ambassadors. Anything can happen. I would never even like think about buying a Lambo, but if you want one, more power to you. Just to clarify about In's DAO, the power token is basically replaced with In0 and right? Yes, this is the plan. Yes. Hentai. What the code for Zilli? Boost chain. Hi Sasha, when we can exchange the ability? Please wait for in its launch. It can provide a huge boost to the resolution of this issue. Vladimir, here in the Netherlands, I hear a lot of stories about Waves co-working space. Yeah, it was amazing shit. Yeah, it was called Primal Base. It was amazing. So I don't know if somebody here still remembers it. That was a project that I supported. It wasn't like a my project. Another guy did it. Like I knew him reasonably well, but there was a huge issue with the guy later. Like he basically something happened to him. So, and he started doing some crazy shit, and it didn't end well. This is what I can tell you. But the project itself was amazing. I would like to do something like that again. So this is going to be some kind of like decentralized co-working ecosystem where people can basically hold a token and have like a place, like a desk in all co-working locations all over the world. So basically you buy a token and you just show this token, or you book a desk like for some period of time with the token, and it could create some kind of like network of interconnected coworkings, like Web3 coworking places all over the world. And we actually did that. Not me personally, but I was like involved in basically this project as well. And they had places in Amsterdam, London, Moscow, and they launched one even in New York, but it wasn't actually properly launched. Yeah, so it was pretty big, and I don't know any successful projects like that anymore. So I think we could try to do that again, because I think tokenization of this business model could actually improve it, because co-working is not a very profitable business. So for example, we work in, as you know, lost a lot of money. But I think some kind of like community crowdfunding coupled with tokenization could actually improve the model. So I would love to do something similar and maybe like have some places everywhere in the world where I can come with my laptop and spend the day working. This is what I'm doing now. Actually, we don't have an office, and I'm just staying in the office of my friend. So I would love to have more of those offices where I could just come and just stay and work. How many projects are forecasted to launch in Year Zero? Yeah, so basically, after launch, we will have obviously swaps, landing protocols, and there's going to be a lot of business development efforts targeted at onboarding DeFi protocols from other EVM chains. Like usually when you have a DeFi protocol on EVM chain, when there is a new EVM chain launching, you want to launch there as well. And the idea is to have as many projects as possible. So we are like talking already. We have new people business development people who are onboarding new projects. And there's like two streams of that onboarding. Basically, we need to onboard more protocols to the Zero chain, and we need to get projects to our ecosystem that will be launching chains. So we need to have a lot of chains launched right after we launch in Zero chain, the first chain. It's not the end, because the goal is not to launch one chain. The goal is to launch 1,000 chain. Mateusz, what about Vera's deprecated map? There will be an option to convert assets to XTN proportional to price instead of one-to-one. Unfortunately, no, man, because there is not enough XTN for that at the moment. So the goal is to buy back XTN, increases price, and make sure that you can swap your stock liquidity into XTN, but the price of XTN should be as close to $1 as possible. Because if we convert it based on the current rate, we would probably have to issue more XTN, which is something that we really will not do, because we are like buying it back and burning. So we can't do like two contradictory things at the same time. That would be some kind of like contradiction in terms when we are like buying it and burning it, and at the same time issuing more. It can happen at the same time. I think similar to co-working and utility can be tokenized. Food, gyms, hotels. I think any business can be tokenized. Any business can be made into DAO, actually. If you think like a bit about that, I think I did some like article like a month ago for some publication, and probably I should elaborate on that more. I think you can turn any business into a DAO. That would make it more efficient, actually, because you won't have those like vertical structure, and you won't have this like top bottom structure where you take the money from the bottom and you take it to the top, and the money just stays there. It makes the top people richer, but it's basically taken from like the people who are like behind, who are like below the top brass of the company. So and this is a problem in the US, for example, now. So if you like, it's a very like some. I'm gonna go on a tangent here, but this is like the problem why the US economy is not so great right now. So and it stopped being great in the 70s when top managers started to take too much money from companies' profits, and it's very visible on some charts that you can easily find on the internet. So until then, they took like their profits proportional to like to the growth of the profit of the company. But after the 70s, profits were going up, but they started to take more, So, but the workers didn't receive more. They were receiving the same amounts. and basically it fucked the whole economy up, in my opinion. So if you turn like this business model into a DAO, you won't have those like vertical structures and vertical cash flows. Cash flows will become horizontal. Basically, workers will take what belongs to them uh, right after the profit is made. So it's not going to go up, and like top people will decide what to do with money, like pay to the workers or buy a new Lambo, for example. No, well, like workers will get their money as soon as the money is made. And I think this DAO model can improve any business model. Uh, uh, so yeah, I think it's gonna be starting. We will see something like that in the near future. Too bad primal base stopped. I think we should do new primal base. What percentage of zero is allocated to L2MP and what percentage is allocated to wave takers? I think both will be in dozens of percent, but the exact amounts are still to be finalized because the fundraising hasn't been completed yet. So it depends on the success of our fundraising campaign with VCs because they have some allocation, and if that allocation is not used up by them, it will be given to the community. What is the advantage of to buy L2MP over waste? L2MP is a bit more direct, I think, because yeah, in terms of like profitability, it can vary. I think it's hard to say what's going to be more profitable. But L2MP is more direct because you just take it all on the smart contract and you just claim your unit zero tokens. In case of waves, you will have to choose a node where you can stake your waves, and that node will basically share its profit with you from different chains launching on units. So it's trickier, I think. And it might be more profitable because if there is like a lot of chains, not only in zero, the APY is going to be high because those validators, miners will support multiple chains. So at the beginning, I think it's more going to be more. Sorry, some guys are here, so I have to give it them. And at the beginning, it's going to be more or less the same, but in the future, having waves is going to be more profitable. Everything will be dull, absolutely. What are your thoughts on Durosaurus? Let me not comment on that, please. Let me just not comment on it, okay? I would like to stay away from this narrative as much as possible. Okay, a couple more questions. Yeah, like, okay, so what I can say about Durf, I wish him well. I wish Telegram well. I wish Tom Blockchain well. I hope everything's going to be okay. When audit. Man. When LTMP smart contract update. You know the answer. Okay, guys, so let's start to wrap it up slowly. A couple more questions, and I'll let you go. Or I will, yeah, exactly, next week. Or I'll make some summary and some kind of like plans for the next week announcement. So yeah, Pete starting, oh, because Pete I mentioned because it was promised for this week, but no, it's gonna be next week. And we are starting like the bootstrapping of Unit Zero Chain. This will involve finalization of tokenomics, some updates to LTMP smart contracts, and some other things. QL campaign is gonna pick up steam. There's gonna be more KOLs, more locations. For example, Turkey, I think, hasn't properly started yet, but it will. I'm gonna be in Korea, so see you there. Really excited about Korea because yeah, Seoul is a great city. And tons of other things, I even can't recall everything that we are doing now because it's a constant stream of some kind of development, action, reaction. But it's fun, it's fun. The only thing which is important is to make sure that you're doing something valuable and that can exist after you have stopped doing it. So this is what I care about now. So that's why we are launching units. That's why we're gonna start onboarding more people to Power Protocol. That's why we're gonna be helping developers use units and launch new chains on units. That's why we do what we do. Thank you very much, guys. Power to the people, ride on waves, and units is really coming. It's actually coming. It's very close. Get excited. It's coming. I love you all.